What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is Chris and Brad. We are back with the show formerly known as Big Game Talk, now rebranded to 11th Island, but we are back. 5 months away, me and Chris have reconciled our differences. We're back stronger than ever. We're going to be coming at you every Monday with a normal episode, similar to what we did before, and once a month on Thursdays with a special episode. So I think that'll be really fun. We're going to kind of get into our creative side with that we kind of played around with a little bit before in Big Game Talk, but we never really fully embraced it. And I think we're ready to do that. And especially after 5 months away, I've been missing this. How about you, Chris?
Oh yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to see your ugly mug here, even though your ugly mug is the reason that we haven't been doing this for so long. But I was the bigger man. I was the bigger man. So
you can't blame it all on me. It started off with you. And we're just letting this intro music run now.
Oh yeah, well,
it is just.
Let me just. Yeah. Okay, it's gone now.
That's one thing. We're coming in with intro music now. I don't think we ever really had an intro music before. Way back in the first few episodes.
Every time we tried it, we would try it, and then we just get copyright struck. So I think we figured it out now.
In the first. When we weren't on YouTube and it was just the podcast itself, we had the intro, and it was a pretty tough music choice by Chris there. But
I thought
I don't want to get another argument. I don't want to take another 5 months off.
I thought it was it fired me up. You type copyright free hype into YouTube, and what are you gonna get? You gotta take what you can get.
Did not hype me, as you say. But
yeah, well,
we're gonna be coming back.
It's better. It was better than that song, or the two songs that we paid like $100 for, and then realized that we didn't buy the right copyright.
Well,
so we have two songs.
It's not that we didn't buy the right copyright. It was that you're only allowed to use it for one video. That they don't tell you that till after. That's another story. That just kind of shows it.
It can only be a 5-minute video soon. So music video dropping soon, everybody. 2 music videos.
But serious note, we are back. Mondays starting next Monday. That'll be June the 7th. We are back with our regular weekly episodes, which. We're going to stay with what we did before, I think, where it's mostly combat sports, specifically MMA, UFC talk, and then we're going to dabble in the boxing, football. I mean, this podcast got started for football with the XFL before it got shut down, so we always got to circle back to that. And then I think we touch on all sports as well. So we're kind of for the everyman sports fan type of thing, right?
Yes, I would say so. And there's some CFL coming in pretty soon.
Yes. Provided that Canada regulations for COVID get themselves figured out and there's able to be a CFL season, that would start in August. I think spoiler alert. If we're allowed to go to games, I think me and Chris are buying season tickets for the Argos. So
let me see,
that would be some interesting content.
Have you been poked yet?
I have not got the vaccine.
So it's going to be your fault, 13th. Dude. It's going to be
June
your fault
13th.
It's gonna be your fault when this doesn't.
Well, we're not all healthcare workers, Chris.
So
we can't be as good as you.
Yeah, well.
And then I think the Thursday videos, I think those are gonna be the ones that are gonna be I think the most fun for us. Like I have the weekly is a lot of fun, but Thursday when we can kind of be creative, do stuff like the MMA award show, we can kind of do things like that. Maybe not to that level for every video because that end up being a little pricey. But things like that where we can be creative and bring in other people, it will be a lot of fun.
Yes, and I think that when we were doing Big Game Talk, we were going along and we had our set vibe and we had our set. Okay, we got to turn on this and we got to turn on that. We bring in this element, bring in that element. We got very comfortable with it in a good way, in that we could pump it out, or not pump it out, but do our research, prep, and then get everything, all the assets together, pump it out, process it, get it up. We had our routine together, which was pretty good, and it wasn't fully solid, but we had that. But then we did something we never did before, which was the MMA award show, and that was just a lot of fun. It was there was a lot of scripted elements to it. There was a lot of different edits. We brought in friends, some people that are new friends now. Some MMA fighters. And so that we really walked away from that and said, we had an idea, we planned it, it was more than just a normal sitting down and doing a podcast, which is a little bit more from the hip. Still needs a lot of time to prep, but and I think that sort of thing doesn't become everything about this channel or this page or wherever you're watching this, but it's definitely something we want to be doing more of, and doing it in a smaller than the MMA Awards show, because we do it more often.
Yeah, and it's something where we're going to grow with it, learn what we do good, what we can improve on, and where we have the most fun with. Like this podcast, we originally started just as a podcast. We weren't even on YouTube. YouTube's our biggest platform, which isn't even that big right now. But it got
platform, dude.
Yeah, but our podcast numbers are pretty tough. But the thing is, like, when we started in February 2020, pre-COVID, which is hard to even imagine. But it was almost like a let's talk sports, because me and Chris, we went to school together. I moved back home when I finished school. Chris ended up going to a different school. We're on either sides of Toronto. It was a let's stay in contact. Then COVID happens, and it almost enforced that we need to do this to stay in contact. And we joke at the start, but like even when we took this 5-month break, we stayed in contact. So it's a situation where we know that at this point we don't need the show to stay in contact, and we ended up having a lot of fun with the show and seeing what we can do with it. I'm leaning right out of the shot.
You were saying some nice things, so I was like, do I interrupt this kind of sentimental talk to tell him, like, you are like leaving the playing field, my friend?
but you know what I'm saying here, where like we realized that this is a lot of fun. When you first brought this idea to me, we were going to be a Seattle Dragons XFL podcast. and I was like, sure. I expected us to do 1 or 2 episodes, say that was a good time, like whatever, we're done. I mean, we didn't even begin as a Seattle Dragons podcast. We started as Big Game Talk.
The only people that have been worse off than us starting a Seattle Dragons exclusive podcast when the XFL season started is the Bitcoin people last week.
Yeah, I do not follow crypto at all. So that stuff I'm gonna be confused 5 minutes into the video already. But I mean, the thing is, I think when you showed that when we started, we didn't know what we were doing. I mean, we were recording on Discord, right? Like our first, hugging water over there. Like a couple of recordings, we had a bunch of technical problems. We graduated to Skype, and we thought we were big with that until the Eric Anders interview, where his face is zoomed in the entire time. And now we're in a situation where I think for you, you've really taken an interest in the video editing and all that type of thing. So our quality, as you can see with our background right now, is going to get a lot better. And that is all thanks to Chris. Got nothing to do on my end. I haven't changed anything that I've done.
Yeah. Brad just gives feedback, and I don't listen to it.
Yeah. All these Snapchats today because we're working on an intro. Well, Chris is working on an intro. He's sending me all these things. I'm saying, hey, do this. And the next one is the complete opposite of what I said he should do.
Yeah.
But I like to think like we're having fun with it. We're seeing what we can do, and we're a growing brand. We just changed our name 1.5 years in, essentially. But in my opinion, Big Game Talk was always a placeholder name. It was almost like our frat college name, where you got to grow up from that.
Yeah, definitely. It was a product of just a couple of a few years of just absolute university degeneracy, and it was just the epitome of that. And I think this is a whole new brand of degeneracy here, what we're crafting.
Well, and I think it was when I was the one that first came up with Big Game Talk, and I brought it to you, because I think in my head I was going, if we're going to talk about sports mostly, it has to be a sports sounding name.
Yeah.
Now go out there and try and find an original sports podcast or show name that hasn't been taken, because we don't want to be out here copying people's names.
Yeah.
So like we ended up with that, and then I think with 11th Island, it's something where like we both have previously agreed on it for another project that didn't really get off the ground, but we like the name. And it doesn't have to be a sports name, even if we talk about sports. I think our product will speak for itself.
We have 6 more months where we have to pay GoDaddy for the domain, so this is the one we're going with.
Yes, we ordered tappy cards that say 11th Island for the other thing. We are not wasting our money.
Yeah.
So if you see us in person, we're whipping that card out.
Yeah, so if you're watching this video, right? If you pause this, all right, if you pause this video and hold your phone to it, I think, or maybe it just taps.
I mean, you gotta
maybe
put it up to the camera.
Maybe it just taps, see? So, boom, all right, you'll be taken to this video.
Yeah, well, the thing is, before this post, then we better go set that up, because I don't think that's set up at all right now.
Yeah, so...
But yeah, I mean, 11th Island, do you want to get into how we decided on the 11th Island name, or is that going to be a kind of later thing?
Yeah, it's a later thing. That's we don't have
okay, yeah, we don't need
ourselves.
to get
it dilutes the brand, Brad, okay? The mystery of it. Okay, we want people to feel stupid for not understanding and just want to watch so that they cannot be stupid. You know? You're not in if you don't know. So watch to learn.
I feel it. I feel that. Well, I'm excited to get back. I think our first episode is going to be this weekend. We're going to be it'll be our first in-person recording since I want to say the 6th episode we did together. I think we've only done one in person before.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to do that again, which will be nice. I think with the COVID stuff starting to slow down and relax, we'll be able to see each other in person more, which I mean, for the Thursday videos will help a lot more. We can kind of brainstorm ideas, and then just to be able to I mean, the amount of technical problems we've faced over the time doing this, it makes you want to stop. So to do it in person, producer Mitch can show up, earn his paycheck, get his job done.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
The thing you say technical problems, Brad, but you got to understand the technical problems, whether you're in person, there's just different technical problems.
No, I mean technical problems. And remember when we had the period with Zoom where I would just be sitting there and be like, "Oh, we're frozen," and I'm sitting here for 30 seconds of a thing going, "Are we gonna start over again? We're 20 minutes in. Are we gonna cut this out?" Chris is probably too lazy to cut it out, so he's just gonna ramble on until I come back, so he doesn't have to cut it.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would be so annoying. I would see a freeze and I would just be like, it's fine, keep going. You're like, oh, we gotta stop it. Someone's frozen, you know, when it's really, I mean, in reality, I was the recording side, so I stayed crystal clear, you know, so that's what people come for. It's like, thank goodness, someone got rid of that guy, you know? It was tough when they happened during the interviews too, which is something, I mean, I think we gotta start hunting for interviews. I'm not gonna promise any interviews in this thing here, but it'd be fun it's something I think me and you both enjoy when we can get them. It's not something that we try for on a regular basis, but when we can get them, we'll take them, type of thing. Yeah, no, for sure. I think the interviews are cool, and I think we're still kind of finding our identity as interviewers.
Yes,
and it's definitely something that, I mean, you watch it on TV and you see the pros do it, and they're just naturals for the most. There's some very bad interviewers out there, of course, but it's a skill. It's a big skill you got to learn, and everybody has a little bit different of a style, and some styles work, some styles don't, and you really got to play test that sort of thing. So I think,
well, especially when you speak about styles, realistically, me and you have very different styles of how we do the show and do interviews. Where it works on the show, because I think we kind of clash against each other, and it makes for some content. In an interview where we're supposed to be cohesive in it, like that's when the work before where we're going, oh, we got to be on the same page here, right? Yeah. Where there's times I think where you're saying, I'm going to ask this question, I'm like, don't you dare.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then you ask it in the middle of the interview. And then it always turns out good, and I'm just sitting here being like, "Oh, why was I scared to ask that?" Was like, I don't even understand, right?
Yeah, So, but I mean, it works out, and like part of the fun is just like you get, I mean, a lot of interviews that you see on TV. So let's say sports, the athlete knows who is doing the interviewing because they're on TV, right? They're visible. They're just as famous as the athlete being interviewed. Like you think of it like a Helwani, you know, everybody knows who Helwani is. Everyone knows his personality. Everyone knows what he looks like, what his setup's going to be like, what his questions are going to be like, all yada yada yada. And then, boom, like you're a UFC fighter. You get a DM from like Big Game Talk or now 11th Island, and you say, what the hell? I'll come on. And most of the time, the first thing that they say to us is, "Oh, there's two of you."
Yes.
So it's, I mean, they don't even know that there's two of, like, I mean, it would have been nice to say that Eric Anders has watched the show, but you know, he hasn't. So they come on and it's just us, like we're a deer in the headlights. We're like, you came? You know?
It's funny too when you talk about the setting and everything. Like when we interviewed Scott Holtzman before we started recording, the first thing he said, he started pointing out things in the background. Because I had the UFC signed posters behind me, right? So he started pointing them out. Yeah. So there is some getting used to it. And I mean, for somebody to come on our podcast, in all reality, they're giving us a lot of respect to give us the time, because it doesn't do a lot for them in all reality. Like if you're going on with Helwani, you're boosting your own career. If you're coming on with us, you're boosting us. Yeah. In all fairness. Yeah. So it's a lot of respect. That's why, like, the athletes that we've interviewed, I have a lot of respect for them, and I'm a fan for life for them.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Just because you take you take your time out of your day to do that, and you're part of our brand now too.
Yeah, no, so it's always, it's one of the coolest things that we've had the pleasure to do. You know, this is I mean, if I'm going to tell anybody like in my real life about this, I'm not going to say, yeah, like we sit and we talk about sports once a week and we record it and put it on YouTube. I'm going to say, yo, we interview professional athletes, and it's cool, you know?
Yeah. But, I'm going to show them, like, in order. I'm probably going to show the interviews, and then I'm going to show the MMA award show, and then I'm going to say, and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, because, and I think that's why I'm excited for Thursdays, because I think we're going to do a lot of different, I'm not going to put a name, or we're not going to put a name today on what that looks like, what I think it's
because I don't, because like Chris, I don't even think, if we try to put a name on it right now, we don't, like, it sounds stupid, but like we don't know what content we're gonna put out, but it's gonna be not your typical weekly stuff. And I don't mean like, oh, we don't know, we got to figure it out, but it's
yeah, because it sounded like that, dude. It sounded like that.
But we have to like sit together, say what's topical right now, what's something that is going to be realistically residual for the views, and what's something that's in our capabilities to do. Like the MMA award show, like if we came out with that in the middle of June, people that would be stupid. That was something that fit that time period for when we did that, right?
Yeah,
so we got
like, it's like, we're not going to do an MMA award show halfway through the year. That'd be crazy, you know.
Would be stupid. What is it, like the 2020/2021 from this date to this date?
Yeah,
like, come on. You know what I mean? So it's like, and we're gonna evolve with it. We're gonna try new things. We're gonna see what happens. And I think next Thursday on the 10th, that would be, I think we're coming out with one, likely. We'll probably do that this weekend.
Yes,
we'll do that in person. I think that'll be a. Do you want to tease it or leave it?
Well, I forgot what it is, so I can't.
Oh my goodness, that's a tough look for the show.
So you break it to me.
I know what it is. Okay, so we are going to, the details of this. We're going to sit down, and we're essentially going to fantasy draft, but it's going to be a situation where me and Chris are promoters, GMs, coaches, whatever you want to call it, for all of the major sports. So for the MMA.
Wait a minute.
You're a brand new promoter. You have to pick 5 fighters to start your roster. we fantasy draft it back and forth, and then we talk about our picks. And the thing is, like, I take somebody, you can't take them. And then after that, we can send to the viewers who got the better picks, who made the better roster. And then so you look at for football, you pick 5 guys to start your roster. We can even throw a wrench in it, say they can't be. I mean, for football, you wouldn't do it the same position anyway, but for hockey, can't be the same position. You got forward, defense, goalie. Pick 3, right? I think that's something we have fun with. We can do, likely that's going to be MMA, boxing, hockey, basketball, football, and baseball.
That's going to be a long video, Brad.
No, I don't think that's very long. I mean, if you do, I'm falling out of the screen again. I got to lean back the other way. If you do like 3 to 5 each, talk about them. I mean, we're going to talk in depth. You don't need to justify your position for a lot of these people, right?
Yeah.
It's a good 20-minute video.
What I was thinking,
we're not selling it too hard here, Chris.
A better video idea. So you got to draft. You're making a MMA promotion. You got to draft 5 football players, and then you're making a football team. You got to draft 5 MMA dudes. Sports scramble.
You can get sued from the VR game. I don't know how I feel about that. I think we could throw that.
It's a lot to put into a thumbnail.
Yeah. I mean, if the thumbnail's got to be this long, just explaining what it is actually about.
Yeah.
So I think, and I mean, we can even, if you want to, I mean, shorten it down for something, and we spread it out in different videos. 15 MMA fighters, fantasy draft, me and you back and forth. So I pick 15, you pick 15, see who's got the better roster. We'll get somebody impartial to judge. We'll get Brock to say who's better or something like that, or we'll throw it out to the fans as well.
Yeah, fans, we're looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Yeah. Maybe you'll let 11th Island know where you didn't let Big Game Talk know.
Yeah, it's like, man.
But I think that would. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do for all the sports, or do you want to do something like just MMA?
Well, I mean, if we did it just for MMA, we could do more. I think like to do more roster picks per video is better, because then there's more competition between us. You know,
okay.
If
so,
we have,
because you're coming with 30 fighters.
Because you could, if we were picking like 5 each, just so that we can fit multiple sports in. There's 10 people on the UFC roster that could justifiably go number 1. You know.
Yeah, and then I mean, you could. So are we gonna do it too? Like here's break it down even more. So we're each picking 15. Are you gonna say promotion, just pick whoever you want, or are you gonna say pick 15? Are you gonna cut down weight classes? So I think, because I think when I'm picking this, I'm picking star power. Like I'm not necessarily picking the best fighters, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to take, it's got to be the star power. And I think with this, what would be interesting is to see how many fighters get picked outside the UFC.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
because, I mean, I don't want to give away my draft strategy, you know, but you could.
For the concept, you have a draft strategy for something that we essentially just agreed to and came up with in the last 2 minutes.
Well, the wheels are turning, dude. I work quick. All right, but you know, I'll save this for the video. Yeah, I'll save this for that. You know, but
yeah. So I think So let's do that. We'll do that for Thursday. That's an easy. I say it's like a 20-30 minute video. Keep it short and clean.
Yep.
Even it might be less than that, honestly, depending on how quick we go. We can do that in person too, which would be nice.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes. I mean, that's all. I mean,
what we gotta do.
We're throwing a bullpen session here. We have not done this in so long.
We gotta get producer Mitch to read out in this round of the draft. That
would actually be solid. Like round 1, pick number 1, Brad to the podium.
Yeah, we gotta
But after 3 rounds, that's sickening.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just about to say something real stupid. I was about to say because what I was gonna say was, you could, if you did the last 3 at the podium, or no, so you do the biggest picks at the podium, so like the first 3 picks, because then that's like hype, and then the rest you just run on through, right? Like Roger Goodell doesn't show up to day 2 of the draft, right?
Yeah.
So I was saying
he's not getting off the couch for that.
But in terms
Literally.
in terms of YouTube, if you just drop off like that in terms of effort in the video, it's not good for the numbers. So I was thinking, what if we build to it and do it in reverse and have our 20th pick first?
But then people are staying around for that. Well, I mean, realistically, we're sitting on the couch and making picks.
Yeah.
I don't know how else you're going to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, it'd be sick if we could do it outside, though, but we'll see.
Well, I mean...
Neighbors have to cooperate.
Yeah, so... I mean, there's some people in government who's like, you have to do it outside, so...
Yeah, good point.
So I would be low-key with all this stuff. This is a character piece.
Yeah, it's a character piece. But, I mean... That's all I got to say about this. I think, like I said, we're throwing a bullpen session here. It's been so long since we've done this. We got to get the work back in.
Yeah. Now, the only thing... So, I've been checking boxes in my head as we've been going along. There's a few... Like, this is bullpen session, so it's like things that we got to work on.
What boxes have we not clicked?
Okay, the one box is that I wanted to get a good clip to put into the intro video. And there's no good clips.
I mean, what are we doing here? So, okay, the clip will come on the weekend for the Monday video. The clip, if it's probably better if we're together anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe that's the clip.
Or I mean, clip when I'm talking about that we rebranded from Big Game Talk to 11th Island. For all
that's something we do. Like, you say it quickly, and you're like, we rebranded, It's not something like every video in a month. A month from now, it's like, we were ashamed of what we had created, so we changed it.
I mean, the video, we're gonna have definitely a longer video on the weekend. We're gonna find clips on that, and then I think even the UFC fantasy one, because that's gonna bring some heat to it, because we're just gonna get mad at each other about that.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a good one there. So and we got as much time as we want to find an intro. What else were you waiting to check off?
That was it. That was the only reason I agreed to do this tonight.
Well, then I'm sorry to disappoint.
Yeah, you just wasted my time, dude.
Well, on that disappointing note, if you're still watching, make sure to like and subscribe our page. It is now 11th Island. You can find us on podcast form. 11th Island, not Big Game Talk.
Is this going to be a podcast?
Why not? Because you've been slacking. You don't post any of the ones you still post MMA awards. So you got to get in the rhythm of that. So 11th Island, not Big Game Talk. The Big Game Talk library and archive is still there. Go back, check out the MMA awards show. I had something that we're pretty happy with. We mentioned it quite a few times, so I think you can probably tell. But other than that, we will follow us on Instagram, 11th Island, and we will see you next week, Monday and Thursday, with brand new content.
BGT 15 for 15% off. Good. See you later.
Hit the outro.
Oh yeah, I gotta play that.
I mean, come on.
Oh, that's loud.
All right, cut it.
It's rude to leave during the intro.